How's it going? So this is going to be some specific advice on group interviews. This is becoming, for better or for worse, a popular way for offer owners, for business owners to run the interview process for their candidates. It speeds things up a little bit. That's why they do it. There are a few things to be aware of, or a few things to be conscious of that are different to a regular interview. First of all of my advice on interview prep applies. You should still have questions to ask. Those questions should reflect the things that you actually want to know about the business based on your due diligence, based on your evaluation of that offer. And you should be going into the interview with the frame of mind of this is me trying to assess whether or not this is a good opportunity for me. Kind of flip the script that way, not in an arrogant way, but simply because you do need to assess that offer. And once again, have your evidence bank ready, know your numbers going into that, know your narrative so that everything is nice and coherent. A few things that are going to be slightly different on a group interview. The way I like to think of it is like this. The group interview is a competition between everyone on there, but you kind of instantly lose that competition if you acknowledge that it's a competition. So you'll often see in these interviews people who are somewhat self-conscious, somewhat nervous, will try to go to an extra length to prove themselves. You can see them churning away and thinking about every question and thinking about how they can answer in such a way that makes them look more impressive than the next person, the last person that asked the question. The truth is, most of the questions that are going to come up in a group interview are going to be much more geared towards personality, right? And for that reason, you want to be showing personality versus trying to relate every single question back to why you're the top tier closer and why the business owner should definitely choose you. You see, it's about the attitude. It's about, yeah, I'm here to assess if this is a good opportunity for me, and I'm also here to share my personality. It's not about I'm here to try and prove myself or anything like that. The second thing I want to mention is there are subtle ways that you're going to stand out from the competition. One of them is what I've just mentioned, just by being more relaxed, more composed than everybody else. That's like a subtle way that you can be better than the next person in the eyes of the business owner. It's more about a personality test. It's more about who stands out in the way of being somebody who can communicate well, who can read the room, and who can come across in a natural way. The second reason is basic setup, right? The second thing is basic setup, I should say. Look at this example of me on a group interview, right? You can see here, this is for a marketing offer. It's for Tom Beattie's marketing offer. And here's yours truly on the group interview, right? And look at everybody else on this call. Now, there's nothing personal against these people whatsoever, but just look at the difference in setup, okay? First of all, clean background, great lighting. It's the same setup I always record in. For the most part, it's the same setup I'm recording in right now, okay? Here we've got kind of ugly curtains in the background. His lighting's not so bad, but it's just a bit chaotic. It kind of looks like not an office, right? Here, not so bad, but the camera angle is pretty weird. He's got the guru wall going on behind him, but again, like the quality of this just is just kind of bad. And to be fair, it could be from the stream quality, the receiving stream quality on my end, but just the way he's placed the camera there gives me the impression that he's not really thought about his setup very, very much. This guy, yeah, dark room, never a good start, blurred background. I like that you've actually gone to the effort of trying to hide the chaos going on behind you, but I really don't like how a blurred background comes across, because it just makes me think, why couldn't you just go and sit in an office with a clean background behind you? I don't know. I think from a zoomed out position, it's pretty clear that my setup is standing out better here. You can also see my mic in the shot. That is a very, bonus points for showing your mic, because visually it shows that you've thought about your audio quality. But once again, the fact that I'm using a mic kind of is the thing that's making the difference there, because my audio quality is automatically going to be basically as good as it could possibly be without studio recording quality equipment, which just isn't really necessary. But the point is, my audio quality, I've taken measures to make sure that that is as good as it can possibly be. So when I speak and when I answer the funny little personality icebreaker question that Tom asks, it's coming across in such good audio quality that there's nothing to hold that back. Again, the basics matter so much, right? I've set up good quality Wi-Fi. I know that my connection is not going to drop. If it does, I've got redundancy. baked in for that. These little things they just help so much, right? So just look at it, step back and look. Someone is sitting in an office like he takes this seriously and like he's a professional, like he does it every day. Three people on this shot don't look as good as my setup looks. I would argue mine even looks better than Tom's in this case, but he's the business owner, right? He can kind of do whatever he wants. he's paying us to take sales calls for him. So that's it. Setup is one way that you can really stand out against your counterparts. The other way, the first one that I mentioned, just being more relaxed and not treating everything as a test. You're there to get to know the business owner, first of all, to actually see if you get on. And then you're there to come in and find out what you need to find out to complete your offer evaluation. Now, that is the third thing that I'm going to talk about. Asking questions that are related directly back to the way I've shown you in the offer evaluation module, essentially related back to how likely are you to make money from this offer, will really make you stand out. So if it comes to the end of a group interview and everyone's invited to ask questions and everyone's trying to stick their oar in and trying to show out, oh, pick me, raise my hand, look at me, and everyone's like asking a question to try and cozy up with the business owner. Do that if you've got something. Do that at the very end if you've actually got something in common, something that you can really build rapport with. But asking a poignant question about the business, i.e., what is your actual average show rate, or what is the close rate of the worst closer on your team currently? Something like this, that instantly speaks to the founder, right? That speaks to the founder mind of that business owner. Oh, okay, this person understands how a business runs. This person has done this before. This person is actually thinking critically about what's going on here. That is something that will really make you stand out versus your counterparts without being in direct competition with them. Because again, we need to know these things anyway in order to make this decision. So to summarize, approach this basically the same way that you would have approached any other kind of interview. The prep is exactly the same. The questions that you're going to be asking are exactly the same. And the way that you want to carry yourself into that is exactly the same. The mindset is the same. The thing to bear in mind with this basically is, yes, you are in competition with these other people, but as soon as you acknowledge and start actually rising to that competition in real time in ways that aren't subtle and subcommunicated, like I've just spoken about, you lose instantly, because you will directly look in contrast to those people. You will immediately look like you're trying your very best to outshine everyone, and that gets back into desperate energy, and it's just not a good look at all. So approach this like regular interview, and bear in mind these three subtle ways that you can stand out from the crowd, which are basically the same ways we prepare for any interview. Really good setup. It'll make you look visually and sound audibly better than everybody else. Most likely, because people just aren't doing this stuff. It blows my mind, honestly. Poignant questions that you actually want to know the answers to. Do have questions to ask. We've spoken about this already, but asking those questions that are business related, very, very important. And then the first thing as well is just keeping the attitude. It's keeping the attitude of somebody who is calm, relaxed. You're here to get to know the business owner. You're here to see if this is an opportunity that is worthwhile for you to spend your time on. You're not here to try and win a competition with the 12 other people on the call. Hope that helps. Any questions? Let me know. Cheers.